Howdy, my name's Brian Foley, and I'm a criminal defense attorney in Conroe, Texas. I represent folks who've been accused of a crime in Conroe, the Woodlands, Houston, and that general surrounding area. So today we're going to be continuing a series on the dirty little secret in criminal law, and today's crime is DWI when you're on prescription drugs. And so a lot of times people have a case like this. They have, been arrested. They were driving their vehicle, maybe they got in a wreck, or maybe they were speeding or something like that. They got pulled over by a police officer, and then the police officer said, "You're driving while intoxicated." And they're like, "Well, I haven't had anything to drink. I've had nothing at all to drink. I don't do drugs. What's going on? Like, you can't arrest me for this." Well, in Texas, the law for DWI says that a person is intoxicated if they have a greater than 0.08 alcohol concentration, or that they've lost the normal use of their mental and physical faculties due to the introduction of a drug or really any substance. So anything at all. So whether it's prescribed to you or not, on the bottles, the prescription bottles, sometimes they say, warning, don't operate heavy machinery. They're not referring just to like tractors and things like that. It means this drug may have a consequence on your normal mental and physical faculties. And so you shouldn't take it and then operate a motor vehicle. Well, if that's the case, even if you're prescribed, even if you took the dose that you were prescribed, the state could try to seek a conviction and try to convict you for it. So that's the question I get the most is, can I be arrested for DWI when all I took was my prescription that the doctor told me to take? Well, the answer is yes, you definitely can be arrested. It doesn't mean you have to be convicted though. Let's talk about the different types of drugs that are common in these types of arrests. So the first type I would call a CNS depressant. That's a central nervous system depressant. And typical ones are diazepam or Valium, clonazepam, another name for that is Klonopin, alprazolam or Xanax, triazolam or Halcion. I don't see this one very much, but those are the main ones. And I'll tell you, the one we see the most is Xanax. People get prescribed Xanax all the time. Everybody's living a stressful life, and Xanax is designed to be an anti-anxiety drug, and people will sometimes take it to go to sleep. In any case, that one is probably the most prescribed, and therefore it's the most that we will see in these types of cases. So sometimes people will take a Xanax like they're prescribed. They're normally fine. They can operate just fine, while they're on maybe one Xanax or half a Xanax or whatever they're prescribed. But then they'll go out and then have alcohol combined with that. So you may have a case where you have a combination of alcohol and drugs that have either what's called a synergistic effect, where the effect against your mental faculties gets ramped up, or an additive effect where it's not as severe. But it does make it worse to have both substances in your system. There's another type of drug, maybe a prescription drug, that is called a narcotic analgesic, okay? So codeine, if you've gotten codeine cough syrup for, a bad cough, hydrocodone, oxycodone, methadone, hydromorphone, morphine, all those are narcotic analgesics, but so is fentanyl, and so all of these things are going to affect people differently. And what's important to know here, and I guess what the dirty little secret of DWI related to prescription drugs is that when a lab analyst with the Department of Public Safety or the Harris County Forensic Sciences Division, any type of state expert, when they come in to testify about this, they may have a level of blood, alcohol concentration. How many grams did they find of this substance, in your body? Is that within a therapeutic range? All these terms are going to get tossed around, but at the end of the day, that lab analyst cannot say that based on any particular number that you have lost your normal use of your mental and physical faculties. That is ultimately going to be up to the jury. And how do you look on video? How do you sound? Are you coherent? Are you stumbling all around? Have you lost your ability to have your balance and physical faculties? That video is more important than anything that the drug analyst is going to say, or what number comes back on a lab. I think jurors are less likely to want to convict in a case where someone really has just followed their doctor's orders, or has maybe not even gotten to that therapeutic range, it's going to be more difficult for the state to get a conviction in a case like this. It's more complicated, and it comes up less often. So newer prosecutors who get handled or get handed DWI cases by their bosses and supervisors at the DA's office, they're less likely to have encountered situations like this or know really how to go through the proper authentication of blood evidence and how it can be used to determine intoxication in a drug case. So I hope you found this informative, exciting as I have. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to click subscribe, the notification bell, so you get all the next videos. And in the comments below, if you have a question that you want answered, I can give an answer for general educational purposes. If you got something specific, you need to call a lawyer and talk to one in person or over the phone, because Zoom as well. All our lives are changed by the way we get in touch now. But do those things, leave a comment, ask a question, and thanks for watching.